Hi all, hope everybody's doing well. So I'm just going to do a quick video on the battery, on this electric battery on my Fido here, because it's now early May. I've had this bike for just over a year, a year and 3 weeks now, and I just wanted to give everybody a quick update on this electric battery here. You can see, let me just zoom in on here. So this is the Fido Energy Technology. Is it chargeable lithium ion battery? And this is a large battery on this. Its capacity is 23.2 amp hours. And you can see the size of this battery, right? It's quite big compared to most batteries you get on other electric bikes. And one of the reasons why I got this bike is range, is because I work like almost 13 miles away from my house. So I didn't know whether I could charge my bike at work, and so I wanted something that could do at least 25 miles, on one charge. This apparently does, the website says it does 70 miles or 125 miles with pedal assist. I think 70 would be stretching it. I think you might get, I think I've got about 50 off it, riding around London, which is obviously a lot harder on batteries. But yeah, if you had it on, if you rode it up and down like a, you know, runway on an airport where it's just completely flat, and then you just turned it round and just kept riding it, or you rode it on like a racetrack where there was no hills, yeah, you might get 70 miles off it. But obviously going, stopping at lights and starting and stopping behind cars and accelerating, obviously uses a lot of power in the battery, so it kind of wears it down quite a lot. But I'm not really, the video isn't really about how far the Fido will go. There's quite a few people who own this bike who have done range tests on it. I saw one guy in America. He was riding it along this track somewhere. I don't know where he lived, but this track was like, it was just like a gravel track for like 50 miles or something. And he rode the bike all the way up and then rode it like all the way back. To be honest, if I ride this bike for 25 miles in one day, after like about 15 miles, my, my butt's getting a bit sore on this, because it's just, it's quite well padded, but it's, it's not really, I don't think, really designed to be ridden a huge amount. But that seat's actually pretty comfortable and has lasted really well. That's like 1 year, and the only thing that's happened is this little thing here is pulled out. But what I wanted to say, the point of this video is, I left this bike up over winter, so I didn't ride it for about 7-8 weeks, maybe even a little bit longer. It was Christmas and everything, and then I didn't ride it. I kind of stopped riding it when it got really too cold and a little bit dangerous and too dark, because I don't really like to ride, in weather where it's like, I think it's a bit dangerous, but so I put it up, and one of the things that I was kind of worried about is like, would the battery degrade? Because you hear, if you look online or you listen to videos, these batteries can, lose their charge over time. I think this battery is good for about 800 cycles, so it can charge up 800 times. Uses that type of charging thing. So it uses the XLR, I think it's XLR charging. You got to have the 3-pin on it, but it comes with the bike. The charger comes with the bike. So the point is, did this battery, did it degrade over winter? Did the cold weather do anything to it? And I obviously keep this my bike in the house, so it doesn't get left outside in the cold or anything, or even in a garage. It's like in my hallway of my house. But my house obviously gets cold in the middle of the night, and during the day there's no heating on and I'm at work. But basically, I don't think it's this anything bad has happened to this battery. When I first got this, when I started riding it again a couple of months ago, I started riding it in February again. I was thinking like maybe something's gone wrong with the battery, because I was only able to go. So basically, when I ride to work, I can ride for about 11 miles. Let me just put this on here. So if you have a look at these bars here, so I can ride for 11 miles before that top bar drops down. And then what was happening, yeah, so sorry, had to move my bike a little bit because there was a bit of wind there. So basically, like I was saying, I could only ride for I would ride for 11 miles before that first bar went down. And then when I started riding again in February, it was obviously a bit colder, and I would find that I would only be able to ride for about 10 miles before that bar went down. So I thought to myself, like, oh, you know, has the battery like lost part of its capacity or something? And it was like that for about a month. And I was trying to think about like last year, like, you know, how well did the battery do last year? Like in winter time, you know, like, you know, what happened with it and stuff like this. You know, I wasn't sure, you know, exactly like what was happening last September, but I basically put it down to like the cold was taking a little bit more power out of the battery, and also I was wearing heavy winter clothes, and I ride with about a 10 kilo pack on my back because I can't fit everything in here. So I've got like all my stuff that I use for work, you know, my books and everything that I ride with, which are quite heavy, and some other, you know, my lunch and everything like that. So what I put it down to is, I put it down to basically, I put it down to a bit of the weather and the fact that I was probably, you know, weighing a bit more. I weigh about 85 kilos, and with my backpack on, which is 10 kilos, my clothes, you know, this little bike is carrying around about 100 kilos, you know, to work in that every day. So it's carrying 100 kilos, 25 miles every day on that battery. And I just want to tell you, let's go back to this thing here, how much power I got out of it. So what was happening is I would get home in February and it would be down to like 2 bars. So I'd only have 2 bars. So I was using 3 whole bars to ride 25 miles, which isn't too bad. I was like okay with that. It's like fine, you know. But July, I actually rode 25 miles on this bike, and when I got back to my house, it still had a full charge on it, which was absolutely amazing. I think I only did it once. I think it was like maybe one of the last days at work where I didn't take in like maybe a heavy rucksack, and I was just wearing like a light t-shirt and stuff. So, but I actually managed to ride basically 25 miles on this bike, and it dropped down, and then when I got home it just popped back up, because what happens is when you like if you put a lot of use a lot of power in the battery, it'll go down, but then when you stop at a set of lights, it'll go back up, the power will go back up again. So yeah, so anyway, long story short is I haven't had any problems with the electrics on this bike at all, and I haven't, you know, and I think the battery has been fine, and I don't think after a year, I mean, I charge this bike every single day for work, because when I get home it goes down to 2 or 3 bars, whatever, and then I charge it overnight, and it does take a long time to charge. Even from there, it will take about 6 hours to charge this battery. Over, you know, 6 hours. So if I put it on charge at like 6 o'clock in the evening, it'll charge till about 11:30 at night, and then it will switch off. And then I wake up in the morning and just unplug the charger, and then ride it to work. But yeah, so I've probably done apparently. So the on the Fido website, I think it says it can do 800 cycles, so you can charge it 800 times. Obviously, I'm obviously not charging it right down to, you know, zero, you know, completely flat. Although I have done that once actually. I think I charged it, a lot of cops today. I think I have charged this bike like right down to zero, and I actually had to cycle it home for the last mile, and then I charged it right up. I think I just did that on purpose, like to run the battery right down, just to, you know, to make sure it was working okay when I first got it. But yeah, so I must have done it, you know, so, well, how many times? I must have charged this at least 200 times, at least. I must have charged this battery, maybe even 250, maybe even 250 times. I'd have to work it out, and I've had like no problems with it, and it still seems to be running fine. So yeah, so anyway, if you this is just a, you know, just wanted to do a quick video. If you buy a bike like this and you look after these electric batteries, even though this is like a Chinese electric battery, and, you know, maybe, you know, you might question the quality or something, or maybe that you know, it's obviously cheaper than, you know, really more premium, you know, expensive bikes that are 1,000 or 2,000 pounds for an electric bike. So you think the battery is like no good or anything. But I think as long as you look after it, you shouldn't have any problems with the battery on this. So yeah, and so that's 1 year. That's 1 year I've had my bike. And check out my other videos. I just did another video on how I saved 3,000 pounds riding this bike. Saved 3,000 pounds minus the 800 I spent on it. So 2,200, but now it's all just like money in the bank. And yeah, one last thing, if you're probably interested in this, is how much it costs to charge this battery up. So 23.2 amp hours, isn't it? That's what it says. 23.2 amp hours. So this is a big battery, and it costs me, I worked it out, it costs me 8p to get to work riding this bike. That's how much it cost me with electricity. If I compare that, you know, to buying like a weekly travel card, you know, I'm looking at 70 pounds, you know, so it's 5/8 of 40. So it's costing me 40p to get to work on this bike. You know, 40p a week compared to like 70 pounds, it's like a huge saving, you know. I mean, in 10 years time, you know, if you're saving 3,000 pounds, you're saving 30,000 pounds in 10 years. In 20 years, if you ride a bike, that's 60,000 pounds. That's 60,000 pounds that you could put on your mortgage, pay off your mortgage. I mean, that would pay your mortgage off, you know, 10 years quicker or something. So yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching my video. Really good that you, if you stayed right to the end and tuned in on that, and fantastic. And be sure to check out my other videos as well about this bike. And as usual, if you're not a subscriber, it would really help if you would like and subscribe, because I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers, and I've got less than 100 at the moment. So it would really help if you would subscribe and post a like on this video. And thanks very much for watching.